So, this next question I decided to answer was an interesting one because I don't know that I've ever heard anyone else answer it before. So, the question that I was asked was in the beginning, what scared me? And I don't even know if I've like talked about it or not, but one of the things that really did scare me was what if I'm wrong? And I don't know if a lot of people mention this or they say it out loud. I feel like it might be an unspoken thing, but there is, and I don't. When I say get it wrong, I don't mean did I do this offering right? Did I do this ritual right? But what if I didn't choose my spirituality, my religion right? Like that's the part. Like when you are going through this period of deconstructing what you were grown, raised to believe, socialized to believe, whatever, and you are learning something new. That question, what if this is wrong too? Like, am I going to do something wrong? And if you are, and I say this in the framework of being, black in America. I am a born and raised Georgia peach, and those who live over here in this country know I live in the heart and soul of the Bible Belt. And for me, it wasn't, I'm doing something different from everyone else per se because I was raised as an Israelite with no other Israelites around me like that. So that I was already different. It was, oh, this is just drastic. This is this like I decided I'm going to go all the way to the left. And we are not raised with any sense of believing that our African ancestors were doing anything good spiritually, religiously, or otherwise. We're just not raised to believe it. Like, we're raised to believe everything contrary to that. And they sow that seed so egregiously well. I don't know how often we talk about how to get out from under that. Um, and that moment when you look around and you're started. And I know that for us here, we all go through this moment where like, okay, cool, I'm gonna put the altars up. Da 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 da. For me, it was a seven African powers altar. That's what it was for me. It was the seven African powers altar. And I remember the day I took it down. I remember the day. I remember the day I took it down. I don't know what it was. I just had this moment of like, are you crazy? I just had that moment. I had that moment of, are you crazy? And I took it down. And eventually went back up, but not in the same way it was up the first time. But I took it down. And I was like, what am I, you know, what do I do? And I think I had just went outside, just went someplace and just sat in the quiet. That's it. I just sat in the quiet. Um, the second time this happened, it was actually after my ceremony. I had just received Itefa. I was driving back home, coming back into town. And I called to check on things at the house. Um, my initial plan was to be back home that Monday. But everybody and their mama was like, I should not try to drive home. Um, sorry, to be back home that Sunday. I should not try to drive home that soon. I needed to let myself have a day to sleep, rest, and recharge, which they were probably right. So I didn't drive home when I planned to. So I heading back home called because my children had been with their dad all weekend, um, or most of the weekend. They were going to be back home that Sunday, which is why I was trying to come home Sunday. So Monday I called. I'm on the road. It's a bright and sunny day, completely contrary to heading up there. Heading up there, I'm confident Shango and Oya was testing me. Like, you really gonna do this? You really doing this? Because the way that it rained and stormed. Plus, I was doing my ceremony in the midst of hurricane season. Um, but on the way home, it was just the brightest, most beautiful, sunny day. Not too hot. It was just a beautiful day, a beautiful ride. Like, I was cruising down the road, wasn't no traffic. It was just lovely. So right about the time I hit I-20, um, I'm like, you know, GPS is off. I'm on I-20. I don't need GPS no more. So I call, and there were a series of things that my mom ended up saying to me that kind of like freaked me out a bit. This was on the walkway and this happened and your son had this kind of day. And it was just, none of it made me feel good. I left from Baltimore feeling grand and I came back not feeling good. I just wasn't, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Am I crazy? I done left my kids to do da 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 da. I was just not, no longer in the best headspace. And one day we'll talk about parenting and sometimes our power over our children that we don't realize we have. So, but I was like really worried. And I walk in the door, and my youngest is sitting at the little table, and he's doing what he does, drawing or something. And he looks up at me, and he says, "Mommy, you an angel." That was it. I was good. I was good. I was good. I was totally I was totally good. Um, all the angst, all the anxiety, all the everything. Because, you can lie about a lot of things, but you can't never lie about your energy. And when my son said what he said, it was like, all right, bet. I'm good. I'm good. So, for anyone who's on this journey, who has that crisis of faith, or crisis is what you're doing. One is, have you gotten a divination? Did you do a reading? And then did you sit with your Ori about it? Um, I sat, and it's like, yo, am I crazy? You know, is this okay? Because I didn't take it lightly, especially the fact that, you know, this isn't just, oh, you're going to just be devotee chilling in your corner. You are an Ifa and Ifa, and you have work to do. And I was really particular about that, and so I didn't take it lightly. But I just want to say that it is normal. Like, it's normal to have that moment, that crisis of faith. Like, yo, am I crazy? Am I cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? And, you know, generally speaking, in most instances, you're not. In most. I won't say 100% time, but in most instances, you're not. But I'll tell you, the decision to honor the tradition of your ancestors itself is not at all crazy. It's not. And it has been one of the most rewarding things outside of being a parent. It's definitely been one of the most rewarding things of my life.